Which MLB wildcard team should you be selling on? Which MLB wildcard team should you be buying on? I've got the answers to both questions, plus a free Game 1 winner for Tuesday, and I'll let you know how the market is moving on all four of these playoff matchups. This is the Power 5 on WagerTalk TV. I'm Bryan Power. Hope everyone is doing great. So let's start by looking at the WagerTalk.com live odds screen and see where the market is moving for today's four Game 1s. First game up, Rangers-Rays. Bettors have moved the total in that game from an opening number of 8 down to 7.5. It'll be Jordan Montgomery opposing Tyler Glasnow in that one. There's really been little movement to speak of for Game 1 of Marlins-Phillies, with Jesus Luzardo and Zach Wheeler towing the rubber. However, an interesting split to report. The number of tickets on the over-under, it's relatively 50-50. 84% of the money, though, on the under. Toronto, Minnesota has seen the total bet up from 7 to 7.5 as it's Kevin Gausman facing Pablo Lopez. And our last game has Milwaukee as the biggest favorite of the day against Arizona. It's Corbin Burns versus Brandon Pfaadt. Kind of surprising. He got the Game 1 nod for the D-backs. Big price on the Brew Crew has not scared off bettors, though. They are up to minus 185 after opening minus 170. Total also up from 7.5 to 8. That surprises me a little bit as well. All right. So which of these wild card teams should you be selling on? To me, the answer is clear. That would be the Miami Marlins. In all due respect to my good friend Drew Martin, the Marlins have no business being in the postseason, gang. None. This is a team that was outscored by 57 runs in the regular season. Only 4 NL teams finished with the worst run differential. Miami was dead last in the entire NL in runs scored. How does a team win 84 games, which isn't much, despite being outscored by 57 runs and finishing last in their league in runs scored? Well, Marlins went 33-13 in one-run games this season. Extraordinarily fortunate. Also, they had 6 wins when they were trailing by 3 or more runs at the end of the 7th inning. That was a record in the modern era. If you like those stats, by the way, got another great one coming up for you in just a minute. But first, which wildcard team should we be buying? Toronto. Blue Jays, slight favorites to win the best of 3 series with the Twins, despite not having home field advantage. Of course, home field may have been a disadvantage for the Jays when you consider they've scored more runs on the road this year. The thing to know with this Jays team, though, is that they are outstanding when facing teams outside of their own division. Against all other teams not in the AL East, the Jays have a 68-42 record. Only Atlanta and Baltimore were better in non-division games this season. Of course, those two teams have home field advantage in their respective leagues. Got another reason, by the way, to back Toronto coming up momentarily and buy on them to advance out of the wild card round. But first, a reminder, please go ahead, smash that like button, give this show a thumbs up. Feel free to comment down below here on YouTube with your favorite MLB bets for Tuesday and for the entire wild card round. Let me know who you think is advancing out of these series. Now your stat of the day, though. Minnesota Twins. They're, of course, facing the Blue Jays, who we're buying on. Well, the Twins have not won a playoff game since 2004. It's obviously a whole new group of players this time around, but let's see if the Twins can reverse some ugly franchise history. Again, I don't think they can, and I think it will be the Blue Jays moving on. And suffice to say, I think I maybe know a thing or two. Over the last 2 days at WagerTalk, nailed a pair of 5% winners. First on the Bills in NFL, then Chelsea yesterday in the Premier League. That's now 4 straight 5% winners for yours truly. And going back to the end of 2022, I am back at number 1 with all 5% plays at WagerTalk.com. That includes a 75% record in football, NFL, and college combined. I'm also now hitting 68% for the season with all soccer. And despite an awful call, an admittedly terrible call, on the Giants Monday night, I'm 72% with NFL sides so far this season. What about the MLB playoffs? Well, last year, I ended the postseason on an incredible 16-4, 80% run, including a perfect 10-0 with totals. If you'd like to get on board, head over to my page, WagerTalk.com right now. Grab a 7-day all-access pass. Use the code POWER7 at checkout. That's POWER 7. And you can get all of my plays for the next 7 days for just $79. Okay, let's close things out here with the power play of the day. These are on an 18-8 run on the show, covering all sports. And we're going with the Rays in the early game today. They have revenge for a 3-game sweep against the Rangers back in July. That was the only time this year when the Rays weren't really playing well. But more importantly, the Rays have home field advantage and Tyler Glasnow on the mound. Tampa Bay, simply a better team at Tropicana Field. Nobody had a better home record in all of baseball. And you have to think Texas is a little bit crushed to even be competing in this wild card round. They gave away the AL West pennant on the final day of the regular season. It was a division they led most of the year. So the fact that they've got to play this 3-game series against Tampa Bay on the road, tough to overcome mentally, I think, for the Rangers. The Rays are a 3% client play for me today, and you can read the full analysis by picking up today's All Access patch, which contains 2 Champions League winners for Tuesday. That is today's All Access pass. And I will add another MLB playoff winner by the time most of you are listening to this show. And that does it for the Power 5 here for Tuesday, October 3rd. Check me out on Twitter at Bryan Power _wins. Now let's all go cash some tickets. Have a great postseason, everybody.